Hello traders and welcome to another video review. Today is Monday, the last day of the June 2025. Let's take a look what do we have in the economic calendar for today. In the last day of the second quarter, in the last day of June, the calendar is quite busy. Overnight data during the Asian session were from Japan. Industrial production up from minus 1.1 to 0.5%. New Zealand business confidence up from 36.6 to 46.3. Chinese data, manufacturing PMI up a little bit, beats the expectations of 49.6 with the actual number 49.7. Chinese composite PMI up. Non-manufacturing PMI beats the expectations as well, so quite good data from China. GDP in UK in line with the expectations, 1.3%, down from 1.5% on the quarterly measure, jump from 0.1% to 0.7%. German retail sales down from minus 0.6 to minus 1.6, so way big miss of the forecast of 0.5%. We are still waiting for the data from the Switzerland cough leading indicators scheduled for release at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock CPI in Poland, at 10:30 we got mortgage rate data from the UK, and at the same time ECB de Guindos will give a speech. Italian CPI is scheduled for release at 11 o'clock. And then we enter the US session. At 4 o'clock, we got the German CPI. Expectations are quite big, 0.1 last number, 0.2 is the forecast. Chicago PMI is scheduled for this at quarter to 3 o'clock. And then we got the FOMC member Bostic to give a speech at 4 p.m. And that's the whole data released during the US session. So pretty busy Asian session, quite busy London session, but almost non-event US session this time at the last day of the June 2025. So without any further ado, let's switch to the chart. We'll start with euro dollar. So the euro dollar keeps hovering very high, and it's testing the level of 1.1732 as the wave 5 expands to the upside as expected. As you can see, we got our arrow here, which is showing us that the market is making new swing highs, but the momentum is diverging from the price, which means someone is actually bluffing here, as they say in poker table, right? So it's usually the price, so we should see some sort of the movement to the upside, but it should follow then the very narrow and very sudden corrective cycle, right? So when the divergence will kick in. For now, 65 points on the RSI, pretty nice test of the intraday technical resistance and swing high. 1.1725 is the technical level, and the swing high, let me just move this. There you go. This is the newest data, 1.1754. That's the actual high. So we are waiting for this market to finish this movement to the upside, and then some sort of the correction should be made. Let's take a look at the US dollar index. It looks like the US dollar index on a 4-hour time frame chart is way below the trend line, way below the 100 periods moving average, way below the technical resistance. Is testing the last week's low at 96.97. However, if we take a look at the daily time frame chart, we can see that there is definitely some sort of the downtrend on the US dollar index, and you can see that this is the lowest level in 3 years, the lowest level of the US dollar index across the board in 3 years. However, please take a look here what's happened when we hit extremely oversold conditions. We got this quite nice rally. How big it was, let me just take a look at my price range tool. So let's say that during this movement to the upside we made almost 10% rally, right after we hit just the technical level of extremely oversold market conditions. Now we hit the extremely oversold market conditions, but the market keeps deteriorate lower, so it might not be that easy to bounce these days for the US dollar, especially after this big weekly down candle made last week. So where is the next level of support for this market? it looks like we might see the support at 93.41. And this is the very important level on a weekly time frame chart, so that's a long-term scenario. On a daily time frame chart, we are way below 100 periods moving average. We are way below the, of course, the local trend line. So the downtrend continues here whatsoever. On a daily time frame chart, the bounce was only towards the level of 57 points. Then we returned it down below the level of 50, and now we are getting closer to the level of 40. So US dollar is weak across the board, weakest in 3 years. What is gold doing then if the dollar is so cheap? We hit the level of 3,247, which is the technical support from the May 29th, so the last month low. Right, and now we are bouncing. We are bearish, bullish engulfing pattern from the extremely oversold market conditions on a 4-hour time frame chart. We are bouncing towards the technical resistance. Let me just change the color of this level, 3,291, and if we break above this level, the next target might be around 3,347 or even 100 periods moving average on a 4-hour time frame chart, which is located at the level of 3,353. So pretty nice bounce from the lows of gold. Basically, the weakness of the US dollar is helping gold to go up, obviously. Now, US dollar versus the Japanese yen. We tested the last week low, 143.77. Slight bounce was made so far on the 4-hour time frame chart. However, as you can see, the 100 periods moving average at 144.81 was rejected. Market went down. The momentum is negative. The momentum is very weak, 37 points. So we should break below the last week low and go towards the level of 142.81. This is the level where the market should test sooner or later. Obviously, the major level is still the demand zone located between the, let me just remind you, located between the levels of 141.93, 142.35. So we should eventually test this zone again if the global weakness across the board of the US dollar will preserve. So right now, very, very difficult situation for the US dollar versus the Japanese yen as well. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin. As the US dollar is getting weaker, Bitcoin is getting stronger, and we just overnight retested the technical resistance at 108,762. Now we are pulling back from this level, but the momentum remains positive. However, it's not strong at all, 53 points only. So you can see that we got the breakout above this blue trend line. We got the breakout above the 100 periods moving average. The bulls are trying to get towards the technical level, gets towards the supply zone. However, so far no avail whatsoever. We are still below this major supply zone. Please remember, this supply zone is includes the all-time high, so that's a very, very important level. We are back after the break to the upside. We are back into this congestion consolidation zone, this slight area between 106,180 and of course 108,820. So right now the situation looks very good for the bulls, and it looks like the market wants to go higher basically. So that's a very nice situation here on the Bitcoin. We should see after the pullback another attempt to move higher, unless we break below the range low 106,180 and below the trend line, back down again and below the 100 periods moving average. This would change the current outlook for the Bitcoin, and we should see the downside movement extension towards the next technical support, or maybe even towards the demand zone. Otherwise, the outlook remains bullish. That's everything from me for today. Thank you very much for watching this analysis, and I hope I see you guys next time. Take care and bye bye.